Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This and the misconceptions about the community interest companies, and I'm coming to pop a pin and burst every single one of them. Community interest companies are great, and I really strongly believe that more people should have one. I feel like this is just a personal opinion coming in as well, don't bite me, but I feel like we have to take, like, the government don't care about us, and we kind of have to take back ownership of our life, our country, our community. Do you know what I mean? We're stronger together in numbers, and I feel like if you have a passion for something, and especially if it's going to help other people, then you most definitely 100% should follow that passion and get paid for doing the work that you do. So yeah, I just believe that, you know, there needs to be a little bit more love in this world. And like I've said previously, the government don't care about us, especially about us. So it's gonna take leaders of the community to come out and make a difference. And part of the reason why I started Community Superheroes was to bring all those kind of people together so that I had a network of people. But number two is to help people even understand about community interest companies and start their own ones, because the more the merrier. Do you know what I mean? Collaboration is key when it comes to grants and, you know, getting contracts and stuff. So I feel like if we all come together, community superheroes, we can help each other, we can build each other up, inspire, and hopefully welcome more CICs into the world. But that's not even about what the video is about. So let's get straight into the video and let's start popping pins in some of these myths, okay? The first myth that I want to burst is that CICs are just like charities. They're not just like charities, they're similar. They work in a little bit of a similar way, but in a previous video I did explain that. So you have a limited company, which is a company 100% for profit, a charity, and then you have a community interest company, which is also known as a not-for-profit organisation or social enterprise. Now, cool. Limited companies, you make profit. As a director, you can actually pay yourself for being a director, and yeah, you do your taxes and everything, but you keep whatever money you make is yours. You've got charities, and charities are primarily focused on distributing profits to charitable causes. So as a director of a charity, you can pay yourself. It has to be like some money that you pay yourself has to be agreed by like some higher bodies. But you can pay yourself for being a director of a charity. You can pay yourself an agreed, reasonable amount just for being a director, and that's a charity. Also, charities get tax relief, and there's a couple other benefits that charities get. Not too clued up into all of the benefits, but yeah, I do know that there's a lot of benefits that charities get. Then we want to come all the way back to CICs, which is right in the middle. So it's not a limited, it's not a charity, it's right in the middle, where you can still make profit for the business, but all the profits have to be reinvested back into the business. You can still pay yourself, but you cannot pay yourself for just being a director. You can only pay yourself for the work that you're doing. So for example, as a director of the CSHEN Project, if I'm running a project, if I'm running a workshop, but that workshop has nothing to do with me, I'm not working, I'm not planning, I'm not doing anything, I can't pay myself for running that workshop. I pay the people who are running the workshop, the facilitators, the project manager, all those people. I pay them people, but I can't pay myself just because I own the company. But then if I was to run my own workshop and project manage my own workshop, I could pay myself as a workshop facilitator and as a project manager. So that is dependent on the grant and how much money you're going for and all that kind of stuff. But with a limited company, you can pay yourself as a director and take profits. With a charity, you can pay yourself as a director. I don't think you can take profits, but don't hold me to that, you might be able to. So CICs, you can make profit, but the profit has to be reinvested back into the business for the cause of for the benefit of the community. You can pay yourself for the work that you do, not because you're a director. You do your taxes in the same way as a limited company, so you're still subject to corporation tax, and I don't think you get any tax benefits with a community interest company. So yeah, that's the difference between a limited company, a charity, and a CIC. Cool. And that debunks the myth of CICs and charities being the same thing. The sole reason I came across CICs is because I wanted to start a charity. I had no idea what CIC was. I knew you could get limited companies, I knew you could get partnerships, and then I knew you could get a charity. I didn't know that there was an in-between. So I wanted to start up a charity. Now, if you know anything about starting up a charity, it's not a quick company's house, register. No, it's a long process. And I was like, I'm not going through all that, and I'm starting out. So as I'm doing my research, CICs kept coming up, and I didn't know what it was. I just thought it was another word for a charity. Anyway, I then went into the rabbit hole of CICs, found my business mentor, and I haven't looked back ever since, literally. Myth number 2 is that CICs don't make profit. Now, CICs absolutely can generate profit, don't get twisted, but their priority goal isn't to make profit. And like I said, any profits made have to be put back into the business to reinvest into the community or their social impact, yeah? So it's not that profits can't be made. You can sell things, you can put on shows and projects and fundraisers and all that kind of stuff. You have freedom to do that. You just can't then go, oh yeah, I've made £7,000 today. I'm just going to take this money out for myself. It doesn't work like that. You only pay yourself for the work that you're doing, and use the money back to reinstate into the community. So for example, if you needed to buy some laptops or whatever, absolutely fine, go and buy the laptops with that profit. If you needed to buy, I don't know, a space, a minibus, even if you had enough money in your CIC and you wanted to buy a building, you can buy a building, absolutely fine. You just can't take those profits and use it as profit. All that money has to be re-put into the business unless you're paying yourself for some work that you're doing. And that's about it. So that is a myth right there, because yes, you can make profit with a CIC, and a lot of it too. Myth number 3 is that a CIC is only for a small business. Now, that's a myth. A CIC can be any size, make any amount of profit. It probably becomes a bit more profitable if you're making loads of money for your CIC. You might as well just become a charity because you get the tax benefits and all the other stuff. But it doesn't mean that if you're a big company you can't have a community interest company as well. It doesn't mean that. Community interest companies can be any size, period. Myth number 4 is that setting CICs up is hard. I'm not going to say it's the easiest thing in the world. There is things that, you know, there's mistakes that I made when I first started setting up my CIC, which is now why I offer the service to help other people set up their CICs, because I made mistakes, got my thing rejected the first time, tried again, and got through the second time with actually registering my CIC. So there is some things that you need to think about when registering your CIC, which I will do a whole complete video on if you guys are interested. Things to look out for when doing your CIC. I'm also selling a CIC checklist, CIC setup checklist, which basically is a written version of, it's basically a written version of what you need to do and the steps you need to take to set up your CIC. And then if you want a little bit more hands-on help or you want a done-for-you service, I also offer that. So that will be available when my website launches, and all details will be in that description box. And myth number 5 is that CICs don't have to be accountable. So you're just getting given all this grant funding, you're doing all this community work, and there's stuff that you don't have to do. No. The CICs are subject to reporting requirements, and they need to be transparent about their finances, they need to be transparent about their purpose. So there's a thing called Articles of Association when you actually like register your CIC, and this states who you're going to help, what kind of things you're going to run, and yeah, so all the kind of stuff about your business. Now you have to stay within that parameter. So I can't say I'm going to work with young people and then go and get a grant fund for working with disabled people when my business solely focusing on young people, offenders and ex-offenders. Do you know what I mean? It just don't work. So there is, they do have to stay accountable in that respect. Also, obviously, when you're getting the grant funding and it comes to the end of the project and the grant funds want you to do a project evaluation, you have to make sure that you're holding yourself accountable. Holding the meetings and having the minutes and stuff like that, hold yourself accountable. Taxes, hold yourself accountable, because you will get fined. I've been fined before for filing too late with one of my other limited businesses. So it's a ball ache, it's expensive, you don't want that problem. Yeah, so just sign up to the service where they send you it in advance and just get it done. But yeah, I say all that to say, you don't just have a community interest company, get all this money, do work for community, and you can just, no. You do have to be transparent about everything. Your finances will be there for everyone to see on Company's House. So that's another thing. You want to make sure it's good. And one last thing I will say when it comes down to finances is that not all accountants know about CICs, what part of it they should put as income, what part of it is not income, because it's grant fund. It's a bit confusing. When you're doing anything money-wise with an accountant, please make sure the accountant has knowledge of working on community interest company accounts, because it's not the same as a normal business. Okay, and there you have it. That was my 5 myths. I did say 3, but I did 5. 5 myths about CICs that I wanted to put a pin in. If you guys have been enjoying these videos, if there's anything you would like me to speak on, please leave them down in the comments below, because I'm just really, I've got a list of things that I feel would be useful to speak on, and I'm just going through them. But if you guys have anything that maybe I haven't done yet, or I've missed, or like anything that I can make my next video or whatever, leave them in the description bar down below. Make sure you follow us on our social media. I'm going to put it on the screen. Make sure you also follow, like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And yeah, guys, I will see you in my next video.